Of the Washington State Fraternal Order of Police and joins us now. Marco, you just heard that soundbite there. Describe in your own words how dire you think the situation is.
Well, I got to tell you, it seems like we talk about these issues that are plaguing law enforcement time and time again, yet local officials continue to enact these policies that are part of the problem. I realize, and our organization realizes, that most of our citizens, almost 60%, do not support defund the police. But yet we do have media, some media, communities and local officials that continue to demonize our profession. And as a result, we have officers who feel unappreciated. They're frustrated and they're leaving their departments in droves. I recently read back in July on CNN that 45%, there's a 45% increase in retirements, an 18% increase in resignations in the law enforcement profession. Even in our cities, 86% of our agencies are dealing with some type of staffing shortage. So some more than others, like in Seattle and King County, for instance. So what that brings it to question is, what are we doing? Enough is enough. When officers are not on the road, inherently crime rates go up. We have seen, and we are experiencing currently, a 25% or 25-year high in murders in this country. Within those numbers, 16 of our larger agencies have been dealing with the most, homicides in recorded history. So obviously, we understand that, our citizens support the police, but it's right now it's time to act. We need people, we need citizens to contact their local officials, demand that they provide the tools and resources to the brave men and women who risk their lives on a daily basis on behalf of the citizens of their communities.
The number of police officers within the Seattle department was between 1,200 and 1,300 for about 7 consecutive years. That number dropped to 1,094 in 2020. Now it is down to 954 officers in 2022. Would you draw a direct correlation between the defund the police movement and the lack of officers now?
That's part of it, and also with the way our judicial system is, with the way some prosecutors and judges are not holding criminals accountable. Officers get frustrated, because all what they want to do is support the victims that they're trying to help, and unfortunately, there's a lot of instances where they're not. And so it gets very frustrating. And so enough is, our officers are feeling very discouraged, because all they want to do is to protect the public. That's why they got into law enforcement, is to make a difference in their communities.
Pretty chilling statement right here from the Seattle Police Officers Guild president. Quote, "There's been a mass exodus of policing. The profession itself is almost on its last breath. And what happens is that criminals fill the void when there's no law enforcement. And when you connect to funding, and then you connect the reform laws that were just absolutely catastrophic to our communities, this is the sad result. And who ends up paying the price? Our communities." Marco, 350 officers will be eligible to retire at the end of the year. Putting all this together, if they do all retire, is it safe to say that the criminals will run Seattle?
Well, when more officers are retiring than we're hiring, obviously crime rates are going to continue to skyrocket, and criminals are going to be more apt to get involved in this type of activity. So we need officers, we need support, and it's up to and we're asking our citizens in our communities to help us.
The number one job of politicians is to keep their community safe. So are you seeing any shift in the thinking of lawmakers in Seattle? Is anyone out there getting this message?
Yeah, there are, and I think, that there are many politicians are starting to realize that the way things have been going has only hurt public safety. And obviously our citizens and victims deserve to feel safe when they're leaving their homes, and when they're going to the park and taking their children out in the community. They deserve to have safe streets. And so I think they are starting to realize that, and we just need to continue to drive that message as a society to make sure that public safety is got the best resources possible.
Marco Monteblanco, thank you for your time this morning. Obviously, it's a dire situation. We will be monitoring.